Hi guys, how are you all doing? It has been a break of 2 whole weeks. Najua mnajiuliza where was I, what was I doing, what was going on. I'm going to give you that update in another video. But today, I personally and prepared such an amazing and a beautiful woman of God. This one is my sister. This one you have asked for her. Mumemtafuta, mumemuulizia. Now you have seen the two weeks break was actually worth it. My name is Pastor Faith, and welcome back to Small Girl Big God.
Look what you created. Everything surrounding me, you made it. Everything so beautiful, the way it flows together. I think I hear birds singing your praises. Amen. I swear you make me feel like I'm your favorite. Oh, it's the way the birds.
Now, on our guest list today, we have the beautiful, amazing, intelligent, anointed woman of God. Woman of God. Aki mumemuulizia sana sana sana. And here she is. My sister, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hey guys, finally. Thank you for asking. I have been asking her to host me for several months, but anyway, I'm here, guys.
You are here
Thank you
now.
for your prayers. But anyway, I'm happy to be here.
You're happy to.
Yes, finally we get to do
Finally,
this.
we
Yes,
can have this
finally.
conversation. For those who don't know you, you can now go ahead and introduce yourself.
So my name, when I was born, my father and mother named me Margaret. So my official name is Margaret Nyoike. Yes, that's my name, but I choose to call myself Mimo Korir.
Hey, sa pia mimi guys kwa majina najiita. Welcome I think ni pia nikikuita Mimo.
No,
Maggie.
don't call me
Ningangane
Maggie.
tu.
Yeah.
Pasi, my sister, itategemea na vile conversation itaenda. Now when I thought about you, I thought about a very serious and in-depth conversation. And we are living in a society where we don't know if marriage is a thing anymore. We don't know if we should get into this thing called marriage.
Yeah.
But before all that marriage situation, we as women, it's like we tumepoteza place kwa society.
Yeah.
It's not been a walk in the park anymore. And you are leading this beautiful and amazing movement that I know most of the people, when you at a watch, wanatoka hapo.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell us about the origin of this beautiful movement, and then I will dive right into the conversation.
So the origin, okay, I run a movement that is called the Jasper Lady Movement. It's a movement of young women. The origin, sometimes I also get confused about the origin of the movement because, to be honest, it was officially birthed in 2022. No, 2023. 2023. But the vision was birthed way in 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yes, 2017, it's when it began. It didn't begin as a movement. It began as a journey between Mimo and God. So it began as a self journey of finding myself. So when I had walked a journey with God in 2021, officially God told me, what you have gained, I need you to go and do it with other people. So I started the journey in 2021, but uko low-key. Watu waliatupendi kuwa in public, low-key. So until now in 2023, that is when officially we started the movement and the services. That is 1st February 2023.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so that is how it got to be birthed.
So from 2017 to 2023, what was going on?
So in 2017, if I would start my journey earlier on, I had some several years of struggling with self-identity. I would say for a period of 4 years, roughly, I had no idea who is Margaret.
Okay.
I had no slight idea. So I battled with so much of understanding who am I as a person, as a child of God. So what happened in 2017 is that I had an encounter with God that reminded me who I am. So I began a journey of building myself in 2017. And in the midst of building myself, God calls me to work with people, not in a personal level, through WhatsApp status.
Oh, wow.
So I would wake up and whatever God is teaching me, I would
You post it.
post it in my WhatsApp status. What I didn't know is that people were following up. So if I go silent the way you have been silent 2 weeks and people are like, where are you, Pastor Faith? There are people would ask me, Atujora status, what's going on?
Yeah.
So it was a platform that people were learning from God. But God was actually revealing to me, who am I? So in 2021 is when I felt that this thing is greater than me. So I sat down with a notebook. God gives me a vision. God gives me everything about it. And in January 2021, God gave me the name Jasper.
Ooh, I love
So
it.
now from 2021, I am praying for this Jasper. What is Jasper? God, what do you want me to go and do? And I was not exposed to women ministry. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. So I didn't have an idea of what I'm supposed to do. So I used to write sermons. I used to write visions. I used to write who I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do, even if I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So the moment I felt like I should launch out, I met my husband.
Shangwe na
So
nderemo. Shangwe na
there, I
nderemo.
know as we continue with the conversation, I will bring it now why it didn't happen. But when we met, I put my vision aside to support his vision. Because even if we are not married, he had begun an online prayers that was running every day. For me, I felt I need to support his vision. So for 2022, it was just there. I was also getting married, you know, the hassles and the bustles of marriage. Mambo ni mingi. So in 2023, my husband tells me, you have the vision, you have everything about it. What are you doing with it? In a notebook. It's time for you to step out and invite the world to this world. So that's the gap between 2017 to 2023.
How are your feelings about now when you talk about it? How does it feel now, the fact that you have come?
Now, at some point, I felt like I wasted years. But God revealed to me you didn't waste years. It was just a season. At times I felt overwhelmed. At times I felt like, why did I? But I think the results of the years is so satisfying that it's now natural.
Yeah.
So the feeling now is so natural.
Yeah.
It's the way we are talking to each other as sisters. And after all, it made us meet as well.
Glory to God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
With the marriage, one of the things by marriage gave me was you, actually.
You
Kama
see?
singeolewa sijui by the way ningekutoa.
Sasa tungekataa kuolewa.
Hey.
Hatungejuana.
Guy, by the way, on a very serious note.
Yes.
Now, we are living in times where we are really struggling to defend marriage. You know, it's inakuwa noma. You know, I keep sending you these TikToks that, you know, sisi tulipewa, you know, cases mbili and they want to share, you know, and all that. Like, it's been a whole hustle and bustle. And I have worked with you, not for very long, but in Jasper Lady, umekuwa by them mwalimu mnoma sana. I've always wanted to meet somebody who carries marriage so gracefully without the whole aspect of kutetea this other gender. Na pia not to make us look toxic. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have done it so gracefully. And you have taught us so many things about the same. And I would like us to share the same concept and the same understanding and wisdom with the world. Now, tumejipata kwa situation as women, we want to enter into an engineering space, not because we want to, but we want to prove that we can do something better than a man can. You know, maybe you will talk about it, like how can we step into these spaces without being a man, just being us at the same time. Yeah.
First of all, on the day this will be airing, because I know it will be my 3rd year anniversary. Woo! Yes. So tukiwa live, let me say happy 3rd anniversary to the love of my life. The most handsome pastor with beards, you know. So marriage is amazing. And as you say, there's something you've said that we want to enter into a certain space because we want to, like we want to prove a point. I feel like it's true, because also asking me why I did a hard course. Okay, I loved it as well. I loved it. But I think the thing is this, as we say, as I was telling you, I was in a season where I think God today was revealing to me, it was like a desert. I was in a 4-year season. I didn't know who Mimo is. It looks weird to people, but I didn't know my true value. Yeah. So what happens is, if you don't know who you are, one, you end up becoming who you're not. Number two, you struggle to become who you're not. Yeah. That's why you will try to do something to prove a point that is not there. So the thing is this, the question was, how can we fit into it? There are people who are called to be engineers and they have it in them. Yeah. They are working in their purpose. But I will feel like what makes a woman is not you to prove how strong you are by your physical strength. Actually, the strength of a woman is in her femininity.
Yeah.
That is the whole strength of being a nurturer, of being, we are called to be incubators, nurturers. That is the strength of a woman. But in the physicality, if you're called to the mountain of media, if you're called to mathematics, that is just your domain and how God has called you to express the strength in you. But the strength of a woman is not measured by what you did. Just because I did engineering and somebody did teaching, it doesn't make me more stronger than she is stronger. How we express who we are and the purpose God has given us, that is what measures how strong you are.
How strong you are. I
so
love
you don't
it.
have
So
to fight
our
it.
power is in just being a woman.
Your power is who you are.
Yeah.
Actually, I like saying, people say the power of identity. I like saying it's not the power of the identity. Identity is your power.
Oh.
The fact that you know who you are, where you ought to be, that's enough. That's your power.
And now, as a woman, how am I supposed to walk in the fullness of that space without tampering now who I am, without tampering with my identity?
It's now when you realize that, let's say this is Pastor Faith and this is where I'm called to be, is when you walk in your purpose and you walk in the lane that you're called to without, as you say, compromising. So if you're called to the corporate world, it doesn't mean now you come so meek, because we have said, people assume femininity is, hi sir, yes boss, you want me to sleep with you so that I can get a job? People assume that softness, but femininity is not basically just being meek. It's about expressing yourself without having to be physically hard. But so you can excel in the space that you're called to by being, we have said that women are nurturers. So even in that office, can even the people and the men around feel the warmth of the person that you are? So I can be a woman, I'm not in IT, but you can be a woman in IT. In a society it's full of men, there can be this warmth that you're bringing, there is this nurturing that you're bringing. So even when you're doing ideas in IT, as men are bringing their masculinity, you're bringing your brain, your power, you're expressing who you are without competing to be who you are not. So I feel we express ourselves best by walking in the truth of who you are. This is me. I can be soft but expressive. I can be quiet but bold. That is where the difference is. It's not being timid. It's about being bold but not boastful.
Hey, Nikomoto. I love it. About being, okay, I love the aspect of being, yes, you're a quiet person, like a personality-ish, but it doesn't mean you're not bold enough to speak up for yourself, to voice, to give an opinion and all that. Now, you have mentioned about you being married and you putting a halt to your vision so that you can carry your husband's visions kidogo. Now, we can talk about that. Now, how, what did it take for you to do that? What kind of wisdom did you use, first of all, to place that? And now the next preceding, what is it called, question after that will be how two visions exist in one household.
How they coexist. You see, by the time I'm halting my vision, as I have said, we were not married. We were in our courtship season. But when when you're courting, you sit down and you speak, this is me, this is my vision, this is what I do. So when we sat down, and these are two visions that are here, and if you start here, I start here, and ndio tunajuana, as you say, it looks kind of confusion. So when it comes to the understanding of generally when God created, God is a God of order, and God loves order.
True.
So when God put the man as the head, and we are told to, this is the vision. So for me, when I understood this is not jokes we are playing around, this thing is where we are going, I had to understand by the biblical term and the nature of the man I was dating. We have to be very precise there. Understand the person you're dating. So for me, I knew the man I'm dating, we are not here for games. And I knew this is what we are for, because don't hold your vision for games.
Yeah.
When the game is over, you lose the game and the vision. Yeah.
True.
So I knew where we are going. So when we sat down and we saw that, we had to see that I had to understand God loves order. God doesn't love confusion. So these are two ministries that are beginning from people that want to start life. So here is Gatekeepers Movement. This is Jasper Lady. To go to everywhere, not anywhere. Yeah? So for me, I understood that God has called me to submit to this man. And I feel like that was the greatest test God gave me. I didn't know then, but looking at it now, I feel like it was a test. God was like, with what I have called this woman to do, is she able to? Because what is submission? It's to take your mission and put it under. So it's not that it doesn't exist, you've just put it under. So I had to take the vision of Jasper Lady and put it under the vision of Pastor Kevin. So that's the wisdom that made me submit to him, so that we can run with a vision, but my vision was still there. I called him down and I told him, babe, this is the vision God has given me. I had the name as I told you. I have everything. This is to the generation that God is calling me to, but I want us to serve this.
Yeah.
So we went ahead to serve the vision. And because my vision was submitted to his vision, what many people may know and may not know, he was the person who later told me that you cannot continue keeping your vision under. You need your vision to also come up. So he's the one who even did the poster. He told me, you have to give the person to do the poster. You need to come out. So it was not that my mission died. My mission was only submitted to, because we are called to submit. So submission is a gift from God that unfortunately many of us don't know about. But it's such a beautiful gift, because look at how it came when he took my vision and it came up. It blew up. It exploded because I had a covering, I had a blessing.
Apo kwa covering sana sana. Apo sana sana. Now, because we're going to dwell Apo right now, actually. You have mentioned submission being a blessing. But pale social media, submission looks like you are being told, Ruka, enda, usifanye, fanya hivi, like, now what is that term submission? Just in simple terms, what is that term submission, and what does it mean having a covering even as a wife? In Ephesians it talks about, Christ being the head of man and man being the head of me. Inakanga, I don't know why there's that
looks so complicated.
It looks so complicated. Ebu break it down for us, because I think you're the best person to do it.
In layman's language, I will use a very simple example. When you decide that, or when you're compelled and make a decision that I want to receive Christ as my personal savior, do you know that that's a decision to submit to Christ?
Yeah.
You're saying that, Jesus, I'm tired of being without a leading, and now I want to be led by you. I want to be guided by you. I want to be protected by you. I want to be loved by you. So when you say that I want to receive the life of Christ, you're saying that I want to be under you. I want to be led by you. So as a call to salvation is a call to submission to God. Where you used to say, my dress, my choice. No, it's your dress, God's choice. Yeah. When you used to say, what I drink, my choice. And now when you say, I am born again, you say, I cannot drink everything. So that's how it is. So when you say that you're submitted, it means that you're led. You're not without a leading. And the thing is this, people always view this submission as a wife and husband. Let's go to the corporate. I'm a corporate body, yeah? In a corporate, we cannot all be CEOs. We have a CEO who is giving us instruction, who is leading us, so that there is going to be a certain kind of direction. That is the same thing in marriage. You cannot be, you are there, he is there. So God saw it fit. God knew if two people live together and there is no direction, there's going to be chaos. Because even in a church,
lazima kukwe na pasi,
there is a pastor,
elder, you know,
you see that?
admin.
So the nature of life is that there must be somebody who is leading. Even in a country, there is a president. You get? So when you say that you are a Kenyan, aren't you saying that I'm submitted to Ruto per se?
Yeah.
So that's why when you look it like this, when you say that you're submitted, it just says that you are under someone, that you are led and you're guided. So submission is not a punishment. Submission is a strategy. It's just God's way of order.
Yeah.
And submission is so sweet, Pastor Faith.
Yeah.
I don't know why people struggle to lead. I just don't understand it. It's so beautiful. So submission is not weakness. It's not compression. It's putting your vision under. And after all, we are all submitted to Christ.
True.
So submission is a hierarchy. A manager is submitted to the CEO. An officer is submitted to the manager. So a child is submitted to the parent. The wife is submitted to the husband. The husband is submitted to God. So at the end of the day, we are all under the lineage of submission.
Can only happen in a household that follows Christ.
Thank you. So, dear girl, don't submit to someone who is not submitted. Because if he doesn't know how to submit and he doesn't know how a leader looks like, how is he going to lead you? He must be submitted to Christ for Christ to model what is leadership.
There's a preaching, I think Apostle Ashai Tuambia. Yeah, we are all like by we, it's men and women.
Yes.
We are all like women to Christ.
Because we are the bride of Christ.
We are the bride, yeah. So it is as easy as choosing somebody who is submitted and I was, when I was thinking about this conversation today, I had this thought, yeah, you know, yani hatuwezi kwanza pastors wives, oh my god, yani
kila siku tunatakiwa
okay, tuna catch two strays hapa na pale, you know, it's always about sisi we are the ones we are the ones who are being, you know, yani we are just going through it. And I feel like such conversations, they deviate us from the fact that the originality of the church is actually family.
Yeah.
You know, when God was creating Adam and Eve, the originality was waendele kuzaana, you know, because you know we are both running churches in Rongai and in CBD, and we are all, at the end of the day, it's family. Unapata tu, it's family and all that and all that. Now we move to dominion and being in domain and all that. You have talked about leading a ministry as a lady, you know, as a woman. How is all this possible? Now your husband has already called you out. Sasa uwezi jitetea, uwezi sema bado mi nakuwa submissive. Sasa asha kutoa, you know. Now how did you step in its fullness and now become the woman king you're supposed to be now?
Yes, it's understanding that as much as I am called to submit, I'm also called.
Yeah. Okay, that's a word. Okay.
It's for me to understand that I have a purpose. It's for me to understand that I have a mandate. Because going back to Genesis 1, a scripture I love with all my heart, when God created the first man, who was the spirit man, and the spirit man is not a man, is not a male or a female, yeah? So he said, now let us make man in our own image and our likeness, and let him rule, let him dominate. So from the foundations of the earth, I have a dominion mandate. So then now when God creates now, where he now says that let's now make the male and the female and brings all this, that the female is under the male, that is because of order. But from Genesis 1:26, each one of us, every human being that God created, I say God is not a waster of resources. So every person he created with a purpose. So I have to understand that as much as I am called to serve this man, as much as I'm called to help this man, I am also called to reign in my own domain. So that means I have a domain that I have to rule as Mimo, not as Mrs. Korir.
Yeah.
You get? So the moment I understood, and remember this vision God had given me before even I got married. So I knew that I have this thing and it is in me. And now I need to stand up and I need to step into my domain and I need to rule in my domain. So that's how I had to step up and take this assignment that God has given me as Mimo. Yeah.
Now dealing with us kwa sababu unasema us kwa sababu mimi
As
niko hapo
women.
kwa Jasper Lady. Niko
Yeah.
hapo kwa Jasper Lady. Talk to us about how, every transition, your beautiful moments,
Yeah.
your worst moments, your highs, your lows. How was it? Kumekuaje dealing with women in ministry?
In ministry.
Yeah.
So not in a million world would I have ever wanted to deal. Okay, I think most women don't like dealing with women.
Unfortunately. Who
I
will
don't
deal
know
with us
why.
anyway?
Now thinking about it, everybody's like, I never thought I would start
Yeah.
a women ministry. Okay, myself included.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I've had godly love for women. So many women don't want to do ministry for women, but for me, I knew I am called to the woman from a very young girl. Not maybe ministry because I didn't understand this ministry thing, but I knew I am called to walk with a woman because I was raised by a beautiful mom who used to have this thing of having the heart for women. My mom was the kind of kila mama akiwa na shida na kujanga kwake. Kila mtoto akileta shida kwa mama yangu. So I saw how, and I knew from that point, it's like I knew I took from my mom. I had this compelling heart of loving women in a godly love way. Tunaishi generation loving a woman looks sinful.
By the way,
godly love for women.
Yeah.
So I love seeing women happy. So even in high school, we would just be there. We didn't have CU, unfortunately, where I schooled, but we still went ahead to form a union with some of my friends for just women. Even in church, I would just find myself loving on girls, loving to know how they are doing, how is school, just embrace them. So all along, I knew I'm called to the woman
that you had
for the woman. So the calling was not clear, but I knew there's something. So it's so funny, Pastor Faith. I knew ministry for me will be that nitafika mahali nikue. I grew up in Deliverance Church and KAG, and I love these churches. Na kuna kuanga na ladies ministry.
Yeah.
Do you know, all my life I knew that I will become a woman's chair lady. So that's the farthest I saw myself. Yes, I knew I will get married in that church and I will become, I don't know how, but I knew I'll become a chair lady of women.
Naishia hapo.
Not maybe to the church, but to a region. Kama umesomea, unajua church venye zinakuwa na region. So I knew I'll have a certain place, but I knew it's to that dimension under the confinement of the church. So for me, all along, I'm the kind that will go to the office, people randomly will come to me. People who are not even friends, and they just want to be here, and I'm not even giving the advice. I'm just listening to them.
Yeah.
So women used to be drawn to come into me just for speaking. So at the back of my mind, as much as I ran away from ministry, I knew I have the heart for women. Even if it's 10 women, 20 women, I was satisfied. So for me to get to Jasper Lady, I was afraid of the mass and now the pastor's thing, but it comes out naturally. So it was amazing and I love it, but sometimes it's shocking. When I found myself with 100, what am I supposed to do with 100? What am I supposed to do with 300 women? God, I asked for 5. And here I'm in corporate. You have asked about the highs. The highs is when people come with a testimony of what God has done. The highs is when someone comes and they are struggling with identity and they tell me, I know who I am, I know what I carry, and I know what I am supposed to become. That gives me the strength to do it. The laws, I would say, Naomi, for me, the laws, I think I would say where I sit is integrating marriage, family, corporate, and ministry. Sometimes I feel I am not the right person for the assignment. I'm too busy for the assignment. God, there are people, there are Akina, Pastor Faith, you can use them. There is Akina. So for me, I feel like the laws is when I feel like I am not available.
Like you feel like you have maybe too much going
Yes,
on.
I feel like I'm not giving. Like I will stay 3 days without responding to someone who asked me a question. I'm like, it's not that I want. I am working. I need to also attend to the boss because God calls us to be diligent. And I get at home, I also need to attend to my husband. And now I have a newborn or a child that needs my attention. The following day, you wake up to the same thing and you have your...
And it's a routine.
It's a routine.
Over.
And then you get Saturday. You know, pastors, we work Monday to Friday, we labor Saturday and
Saturdays.
Sunday. You know, so the routine. And I'm like, God, Jesus, for 3 days I have not answered this person. Maybe
What
if
do
they
you
were to
do?
commit suicide, they did.
Yeah.
God, would they go to another person?
The
So
guilt.
sometimes I feel like I'm not sufficient for God's assignment.
Oh.
I think those are my lowest
How do you
moments.
get over that?
With time, I have learned that my husband keeps saying you can't be everywhere every time.
Yeah.
So I have also learned that I need to know how to balance. Somebody say there is no balance. It's integrating. So sometimes what I do, I will see the need that Pastor Faith texted me. Is it something that can hold? Sometimes I will tell someone, kindly allow me to respond to you. Even if it's after 2 days, just know I will respond to you. And I mark the text unread.
Oh yeah, which is easier.
Which I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I see something that needs attention, I will maybe if I get, sometimes this is I know you're in Jasper Lady. When God give me a message, I'll go mahali kando nijifiche, I do a voice note haraka haraka, and I go back to work. So I think God, with time, I feel like when God gives you an assignment, he gives you the grace. Sometimes the pressure makes you feel like you don't have the grace. Because how I will do all this, kuna mtu ananiulizanga una chat group tatu. No, uko office, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
So sometimes I think there is a grace, but when I understood, I may not do it to the perfection that I may want, but when I get the ability, I do it. I think with time it has gotten easier. Easier, and then I also now don't feel guilty. If I'm not able to attend to someone immediately, I no longer feel guilty.
Even when you unajipea grace,
yes,
mean,
be gracious to yourself for the least.
Very
so I think
important.
that has helped me.
Yeah. And I feel like, okay, me, I get the intensity that you're talking about, but they may not get the intensity because they do not know the kind of taratara that we are following, for lack of a better word.
Kanisa hapo ndani hata tumeongeza.
Hata nilikuwa nimesahau. But you know, you explained it to me, and I'd like you to share with us the kind of schooling that we are going. Before hata mtu afike Jasper Lady, tumeanzia wapi? Twende Jasper Lady, twende hii.
The schooling on
the schooling on like, so unajua tunaanzia Royal.
Yes. So when the Jasper Lady was birthed, you see, Pastor Faith, mi nasemanga God ni kama wana to cheat. Me, I don't know kama wale mna to watch. Maybe mnaweza comment. I feel like God cheats me. You tell God you're busy, he adds your assignment. What's that?
Because you're not busy
you
now.
know, you will tell God I am busy with Jasper Lady. He gives you church. You think you're busy, ministry grows. So under the Jasper Lady, which is the bigger umbrella, we have levels.
Exactly, levels. That's the word I was looking for.
So under that Jasper Lady, we have a high school ministry, which is called the Royal Esthers. This one was born out of confusion.
Okay.
One, I met a girl, najua niko na namba yake ako high school. One time nikaona amecomment Jasper Lady, and I was like, my God, who added this girl? Because, you know, when we are in different seasons in life, combining a mother and a high schooler, the thinking is the same. And sometimes, you know, the things we talk in Jasper Lady.
Zandani.
You know, Zaundani. And this is a high schooler in Form 1. So I was like, we need to act fast. That time, Harriet, our admin, we got to a call and I asked her, Harriet, nani aliongeza, tutamuita she. Nani aliongeza she kwa group? Akaniambia nilimpata. So we had to think, how do we do? Hatuwezi watoa, and they know it exists because they come for our meetings when they close school, So tukuwa tu hapo nikamwambia, because God had given me a vision of high school mission. But it's my first encounter with my husband. Hata nilishanga, nilikuwa nasikia kumchukia. Mtu anaweza kumita jamwambia you have been learning away from God. Who does that? So I had that vision of high school. So I knew as I would say, when I wrote my vision, God called me to the teenager from the age 13 all the way to around 35. You know, teenager to living youth. You know, that is the span. So I knew high school is part, and we do high school ministries.
we
Yeah.
do high school.
So tuka tu hapo, we thought about, we are the Queen Esther's battalion.
Yeah.
So this girl, let's call them not Queen Esthers. Let them feel not so, mature and all that. Let's call them the Royal Esthers. So that's how the Royal Esthers was birthed in December 2024. So we created the group. We told them, exit this one. We have something custom made for you. Where mnaweza itana venye mnataka, ksaksa, mmefoka shule and all that. So that's how Royal Esthers was birthed. So that is our high school ministry. Then beginning of this year, and I have always been given the word about families. So I love women, I think, in different dimensions. So all now when it comes to family, when you get, I don't know, you got married and you felt like you have gone to a desert.
Yeah,
and you are alone.
Of course, you are alone.
My
You
friends
don't
are
know
not
these
married.
people.
I don't know anybody and all that. So because I've gone there, 2 years ago, I wanted to start a ministry for women who are married, but I was in a season that was a bit hard. I know you know my season, and I also didn't know many women who are married and we have the godliness in it. Yeah. So that's when Ilieka on hold. So this year God reminded me about women who are godly and their wives and they are young. So God told me, look for godly young wives and start an army and a sisterhood, work together. We have to tumeongeza undani. Yeah. To our husband, hatuwasengenyangi, but we talk as sisters. We need to breathe. Yeah. So we were like, how many of us are there? So let's form sisterhood. And the God gave me the vision of godly young wives army, which after the launch, which was launched on my birthday, tena God akaniteka desert. I created a group that I never spoke for 2 months.
But tulikusamehea.
You forgive me. Thank you. So this now we are running. We want to go ahead as women, encourage each other. What does it take to be a wife? So that is it. That's the second arm of it. The third arm is that before you get to be a wife, living girlhood and wifehood, there is a journey in here. And because we are walking towards the godly way, there is the godly way of getting married. So there is a space between living the girlhood to the womanhood, which is the journey of marriage, which is also another tough journey when you're planning a wedding. So I had a burden for women that are planning wedding. And I just started and I took girls who are part of Jasper Lady. And one day, God takes me through Proverbs 31.
The one now you were teaching us.
Yes,
just
I was teaching the other day. So when you read it in various versions, there's a TPT version. How the TPT version calls the woman that is explained there, she's called the radiant bride. So God gives me a revelation. These are women that are working towards becoming this woman who is described in Proverbs 31, who is living her purpose, submitted. You see this woman we fear, but I love her. So God gives me the vision of the radiant bride. And by God's grace, I have 3 amazing ladies who are getting married in 2025.
Talk
and
about
we are working
alignment.
together.
Yeah.
And imagine, one of them is getting married this Saturday, 28th of June. So I can't wait to see a radiant bride. That means it's a bride who is not just walking down the aisle, but a bride that is walking with the glory of God, knowing what is expected, what is there, and a happy bride that knows this is what I'm expected. So that's the arm of the radiant bride.
I love it.
But because it's progressive, there is another class. They are not married, but they have children. They are moms and they are not married. They have their own struggles. They have their own stories. There are days we'll speak in Jasper Ladies and you'll hear people saying, there are days I ask people, what is the stupidest thing you have done for love? I'm the kind of, in Jasper Lady, my kind of ruling women or moving with women, sometimes is I want them to bring the wound they never speak about. That's why I will ask you, what is the most stupid thing you ever did for a man? 1, she's healing. 2, she's healing another one. 2, 3, she's warning another one not to go through that route. So in those conversations, I have learned of people who messed up without understanding. They are 20s, 21s, they have children, and now they are confused about what to do.
Yeah.
So in that conversations, God leads me to, why not put them together, have someone in this place I know who has gone through the journey to walk with them. So the newest branch or the newest class, the newest baby of the Jasper Lady, I'm going to work one day and God tells me, which is the most precious stone? A diamond. How is a diamond made? Through the fire. So these are mom, they love momhood, but it came out of pressure. So the latest baby is called Gracefully Diamond Moms. Is for the single mothers in Jasper Lady.
Hey, you don't play.
Yeah, so
you
we have those 4 babies, and
this
maybe
is now
to
an
come.
organization, by the way. It's no longer even
and
a
soon
movement.
we are launching the Jasper Lady Foundation, which is giving back to the society.
We love it.
Yeah.
Hey, basi wewe ni mtu umejipanga hii town. Yani
ni Mungu ananirushanga mitini. Remember I wanted to be at a lady of women.
Ulikuwa umejiweka kwa box. Hey, we are honored to have you in this nation. What? This is, the way women, we have a lot of work. Like even without being without us leading, even us leading ourselves,
it's hard
figuring out ourselves. And you can imagine you're handling all this from 13-year-olds to 35 uko,
we have beyond,
we are still embracing
actually,
them.
the mothers to the Jasper Ladies, they watch through the ladies. I have met 3 now, and they keep asking me, Jasper shosh ni lini? Anyway, we'll not do that, but I think there are women who follow through their children's phone. I think I've had like 4 or 5 telling me.
Even time your global will come.
Yes, even time your global they actually come. So
that is beautiful. Kwa hivyo global this time, we'll talk about that in a few. Now, even as you're leading all these things, and it's not a walk in the park. It's not. It's quite. Let's talk about the warfare that comes with it. The price, the oil, the cost that comes with it.
Pastor Faith, unafunua vidonda. This is a story. Why you have said that, and God has reminded me of the greatest scar I have of womanhood that I'm not even sure I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But because anyway, I keep telling people that allow God to massage your mess to a message. So let me also allow God to massage my mess. So I would say for me, the greatest battle I have with wanting to liberate woman, and you know that I'm big about the womb, is that the devil said, you see that which you are delivering, I will show you something. So the battles come. You want to tell people that marriage works, then the devil tries to make you a bad wife.
Tell me about it.
People, we are not the perfect wives.
We are not.
God tells you
NB.
to lead. NB, POV, everything. We are not the perfect wives. So sometimes Shetani anataka kukuletea the big-headed. You hear and you're being called to tell women that you can be reigning and submitting. Now he wants you to show your husband where. Pia mimi niko na vision, so there are those days you have to press yourself to remember this is a battle. So the days you feel like I want to be there. But for me, I would say the greatest battle that I faced is that God has called me to deliver women from the battles of the womb. So the devil touched my womb. That is the greatest battle I had to go through. Yeah.
It's been, because I know it.
Yes.
Najua the price is expensive. I like message yenye tulifunzwa time ya Glory Fest when Apostle was doing on Sunday.
Yes,
and he talked about the oil and the cost, and people think it's a joke. That's why hapa tumecheka tukisema pastors' wives, we go through it.
It is expensive.
Like, today you want to write kwa status the way you love your husband, nini. Ghafla bin boom.
You're like, do I even love him?
Do I even, you ask yourself. And it's just that, we go through different and very, very difficult times in our marriages and even in our ministries.
And just to mention about it, I know to Meirab, let me say as it is. So God calls me to the woman and tells me, nimeambiwa hadi prophetic word. We are raised by the same spiritual father. We love you, Dad. I've been told you're called for the woman, for the womb and all this. You will heal wombs. I go for mission. By the way, kuna shule ninaogopa kwenda mission. Pastor Eric alikuwa hiyo shule last week, yeah. So we went for mission, and tukiwa mission field, God gives me a message about Esther. You know, I'm big about Esther, and Esther causing deliverance from things that were from way King Saul, yeah. So in that mission field, I don't know that we were with Pastor Eric, I can't remember, but in that mission field, the devil whispers to me on Saturday, and I'm supposed to minister on Sunday, and tells me, I am coming for your womb. And I wake up the following morning, and I'm like, I'm not changing my message. But I was feeling weak. I called the ladies that we had gone with. I told them, please, girls, I have never told people to pray for me on the mission field. But the devil has told me he's coming for my womb. Please pray for me. Please cover me. And we prayed. And I went and I hammered the word of God. And I told the devil, we are calling girls out of these things you're calling masturbation and lesbianism, and they have to come out of it whether you like it or you don't. Pastor Faith, do you know I left there only like 10 weeks to looking back? We got to 1 year anniversary. Actually, it was 2 years back, a month like this June, because it's our anniversary. And we were like, we want now to get a child, and I get pregnant. Getting pregnant, I go and I'm told it's true, you're pregnant. But I'm in so much pain, Pastor Faith. I go for another weekend challenge where you were last week. I didn't know why I'm in so much pain. I thought in cramps, you know. So as I'm going through this, I go to the hospital and they tell me, yes, you're pregnant. But we don't know why you have the pain. There might be a problem. And they tell me what could be the problem. And I start Googling what the problem. And when I Google, the Google said, if this is the problem, it cannot be treated. Now, this is how I knew it is a fight, and God has allowed the fight. That fateful Wednesday, call it the fateful Wednesday, I was at work. I was going to see a sonographer. When I'm in that hospital where I go, it's around Westlands. When I am there, I receive a text from a spiritual son that I know has a burden for me. And he writes like this, Mom, I see you in a vision. No, he sent me the previous night where I was in pain so that I go to the hospital around 11. And believe me, I was pain, but I was not thinking. I saw you the following morning. Mom, I see you in a vision and I see you in so much pain. I wish ingeni hit tutafika hapa, ningekuja na hiyo screenshot because I saved it. And this is what he said. He told me that when we get to heaven, we will not know Jesus only by the glory and the crown. We will know Jesus by the marks that he has. So he told me, I see you in pain, and God says that for you to get to the glory part, you have to carry the cross. Remember, I'm called to call the glory of women out. So now when I'm in the hospital, it hits me, and I write him a text. I ask him, the message you told me, what does it mean? And he tells me, this is what God is saying. Whatever you're going through, you have to go through, and for the pain. And he doesn't know what I was going through. So when I went to the sonographer and they were checking whether I have an ectopic pregnancy, when I got there and the sonographer asked me, who is your gynecologist? I knew the results. And they told me, go straight to Aga Khan Hospital through the emergency door. So I left Westlands on Wednesday where we do meetings at Jasper Lady. I went straight to the hospital. He didn't call my husband. He was in school crying to God. I got there. And you know, ectopic, lazima ufanywe unpregnant, if that is the word. So I say I walked that door pregnant, but I had to walk out. And let me tell you, during the Royal Tent meeting we do on Wednesday, I joined that class. In hospital, nobody knows I'm in hospital. Nina was smilisha, but I'm waiting for the person to come and inject me so that I start shedding off my pregnancy. So I would say That has been the greatest battle. But I had to know it's a battle. So I told the devil, you know what? I'm not backing out. That is on Thursday. Nimeanza to lose my pregnancy. I'm bleeding. Sunday, I'm supposed to be on a mission. I told the devil, you know what? I am not backing out. I went for a mission, bleeding, limping. That school is near Aga Khan. It's called Parklands area. I went and I preached my story. I told them, I will not lie to you girls. I am not okay. But I'm here to tell you, God can take you through. And I told them, when I'm leaving here, I didn't tell them what I was going through, but I tell them, when I'm leaving here, I'm going for a procedure just near your school. But I had to know, I have to bear the cost. So I went, I ministered, and I cried. And I told them, I'm crying because I'm not okay. But girls, I'll come back with a testimony. So when I was pregnant now for my baby, I went back to that school and I told them, this is what I was going through that time, but this is what God can do. So I would say that was a fight, and you may be there. God has called you, and the pain is too much. The cost of well, Pastor Faith, is expensive.
It is expensive.
But the fruit is beautiful.
Tell me
so
about
I say,
it.
if I had to lose a child so that those and women will not lose a child. One,
it is bad, but like it's not equal to 1,000. We could talk about it, you know.
So I told God, if I have to go through it for 1,000 women not to go through
then
about
so
it,
be it. Then so be it. This is so overwhelming and so beautiful.
Say this story in public.
It is well. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and the articulation, everything. Mimi, I have Wednesday, 9 p.m. It has been a whole lot. Thank you for gracing us. I know most of you, 10,000 of you, have been blessed by this amazing, amazing woman of God.
Thank you.
Pst.Mimo, Nyoike, Korir. I don't even hata sina parting shot, sina anything ya kuongezea. Niko tu hapa, I'm pondering on it. It has been amazing. I have enjoyed every single bit. You have taught us about submission, being a good wife, being still a good leader while being a good wife, being a good pastor, you know. It has been it's just been glorious. Glory to God. Thank you so much for sharing all the beautiful, the sad, the broken, and also at the end of the day, tumeona God in all this. Ni God manze. Tukimalizia, I want you to tell us about our favorite time of the month, of the year, actually, not of the month. Glow Girl. Tell us about Glow Girl. Even as you invite us.
Yes, by the way,
it's
time to shine.
It's time to shine.
So the Jasper Lady Movement, we usually have our annual conference. So Jasper means glory. So that's how God gave me the vision of raised women who are going to walk in the radiance and the brilliance of the glory of God. Because we are created as the glory of God. So the Global Conference is a conference where we hold a conference of women seeking to radiate the glory of God in all dimensions. Glorious wife, glorious employee, glorious pastor,
glorious mother.
So this conference, we come in the best glow. Beautiful, glowing physically and glowing spiritually. So that is what the Jasper Lady Glow Girl Conference is, and it happens every first weekend of November. Yes, so this year it falls on 1st of November 2025. So I take this opportunity, my dear viewers, if you watch it today, next week, September, you are officially welcome to Glow Girl Conference Season 3, which is 1st November 2025. And the theme of the conference is the divine shift. God is shifting his children in a divine way. So for other details, please follow Pastor Faith or follow with me. You will see we come here dressed up. we don't dress down on that day.
Yeah.
The more you are exaggerated,
The better,
as long as it's
actually.
bringing the glory of God.
Yeah.
That's the day you wear fascinators, you wear gown. Hata ukisikia kuvaa gown yako
Kwa
ya
harusi.
yeah, please, why not? God is a
Why
glorious
not?
Father.
Yeah.
So we dress well and we get ready to come and be shifted by the glory of God. So dress code, the venue, tunaenda kwa, I think you will host me again now by force, right?
Utuambie. I will, by the way, on a very serious note.
Tunajitishia invite, guys.
Because when we were talking, come up na another important conversation that needs to be had, by the way. That needs to
I
be
tell
had.
people you all need Pastor Faith. No, I know I know it's your segment, but guys, you all need Pastor Faith in your life.
Thank you so much.
So
I will make sure I will drop the poster once it is out.
Yes.
From the location to everything to the dress. Tunakuanga na dress code, by the way. Na atubantingi.
Kutovaa dress code, kuitwa mahali na usivae dress code ni kubant.
Yeah, ni kubant. Mmesikia from the from the source herself. We are going to be there. Tutajaza your venue. We have to come. All of us. Mona, imagine this wisdom now in person. We're going to have an amazing time in the presence of God. I know episode, you and I don't need to ask you. I know it has blessed you. For those who asked about her, you knew how to ask about the right person to come here. So thank you so much to everyone who is here. I will also now, before I forget, I will also drop Jasper Lady's link. Also for people to join in the description box. Pia pamoja na ile ya teens, we are also going to drop it there. And any other thing that you will need me to drop, you will also ask me in the comment section. Till then, see you on Wednesday this week, and we drop Napia next week as we have another amazing conversation. See you then. Have an amazing week.